All right, let's talk about something we've all experienced, the architecture review. You know, that meeting that can either be incredibly valuable or a complete nightmare. Today, we're diving into a framework that's all about fixing it, turning those bureaucratic hurdles into real strategic sessions that actually make your designs better. So, I want you to ask yourself this, honestly. Think about your last architecture review. Did you walk out of that room feeling energized, like you're on a launch pad, ready to build something incredible? Or was it a roadblock? You know, the kind of meeting that gets bogged down in endless nitpicking and just feels like process for the sake of process. It's a super common frustration, but believe me, it doesn't have to be that way.
And that's our goal here today. We're going to give you the tools and, more importantly, the mindset shift you need to do just that. We're going to show you how to turn that roadblock into a genuine launchpad for building better, more solid systems.
So here's how we'll break it down. First, we're going to name the problem, really get to the heart of it. Then we'll talk about a crucial shift in perspective, moving away from bureaucracy and towards value. From there, we get practical. We'll look at a new agenda, define who should be doing what, and explore some really powerful questions to ask. And finally, we'll wrap it all up by looking at the real payoff of doing things this way. Okay, Section 1, the review room problem. We've all been there, right? You're in a meeting that just feels like a checkbox exercise. The air is thick with tension, everyone seems to be on the defensive, and you just can't shake the feeling that this is a colossal waste of everyone's valuable time.
You know, there's actually a perfect name for this. Bureaucracy theater. It's brilliant. It's when the meeting stops being about improving something and starts being a performance of reviewing. The focus totally shifts from finding solutions to just finding fault. And that, right there, is the exact pattern we're here to break.
Which brings us right into our second section, making that leap from bureaucracy to real value. And this isn't about just tweaking a few things on the calendar invite. No, this is a fundamental mindset shift in how we even think about the review in the first place.
And this sentence, this is the absolute core of the entire framework. Seriously, if every single person in that room just embraces this one idea, that we're not here to pass a test, we're here to add value, the whole dynamic just shifts. It goes from being adversarial to being truly collaborative.
And this lays out the difference perfectly. We're consciously moving away from that culture of blame and box ticking. Instead, we're moving toward a culture of collaboration, where the whole team is working together to knock down risks and make sure everyone is actually on the same page, moving forward together.
Okay, so that's the mindset. But how do we actually put this into practice? Well, in Section 3, we're going to introduce a really powerful tool for that, the value-driven agenda. Because you know what? A good structure is absolutely essential if you want to have a focused, productive conversation.
This four-step agenda is designed to keep the meeting on track. You start with the why, the business goals, the context, not with the deep technical weeds. Then you present the high-level design. But the most critical part, really, is step 3, openly and honestly discussing the trade-offs. What were the key decisions? What were the alternatives? And finally, you wrap up with concrete next steps, so all that value you just created in the room doesn't just evaporate.
But look, a great agenda is only as good as the people who are actually in the room. And that's why our fourth section is all about defining clear roles. Because without them, even the best laid plans can just go completely off the rails. There are really 3 essential roles here. You have the presenter. Their job isn't just to show diagrams, it's to explain the business context, the why behind the design. Then you have the reviewers, and they are not there to nitpick. Their job is to stress test the design, to ask those smart, probing, constructive questions. And then, crucially, you have the facilitator. They're the neutral guide, making sure the conversation stays on track and always focused on adding value, not assigning blame. And that leads us to what might be the most powerful tool in this entire framework, asking the right kinds of questions. See, the quality of your review really hinges on the quality of the questions that get asked. It's time to move beyond stuff like, why didn't you use this other technology? And start asking questions that genuinely build value.
This is such a fantastic starting point. A question like this uncovers hidden risks. It forces the team to actually say out loud the foundational beliefs their entire architecture is built on. Are those assumptions even valid anymore? It's such a simple question, but it can prevent some major headaches down the line.
Here's another game changer. Instead of hunting for a dozen tiny little issues, this question just hones right in on the one thing that is most likely to cause a failure. It forces everyone to prioritize and have a proactive conversation about how to handle it. That is so much more valuable than just getting a long list of small worries.
And finally, this one. I love this question because it ties everything back to the business outcome. It makes the team define what success actually looks like in measurable terms. Because let's be honest, if we can't answer this, are we even sure we're solving the right problem?
So let's bring this all home in our final section. Why should you go through all this effort to change how your reviews are done? What's the real architectural payoff?
Well, the benefits are huge, and they go way beyond just technology. Of course, you get better, more resilient designs, but you also get stronger team alignment, you get reduced project risk, and you get the confidence to deliver faster. And maybe most importantly of all, you start to build a real culture of collaboration, where people feel empowered to build great things together.
So if you remember one thing from all this, let it be this. Stop thinking of your architecture review as some kind of gate you have to get through. Start treating it like a collaborative workshop, a place where the best ideas win and the entire team contributes to building something truly great.
And I'll leave you with this final thought to take back to your own teams. Take a hard look and ask, is our current architectural process driven by checklists and bureaucracy, or is it driven by a clear shared purpose? Because the answer to that question will define the integrity of everything you build.